Aloha foilers, this is Brian Finch of Foil the World, and today we have the Takuma LOL Collaboration Wing 1300. This is a super overdue review. I've had this for quite some time, but through injuries, travel, busy with work, personal life stuff, it has been on the back burner and driving me nuts. But I'm really excited to talk a little bit about this today. Having rid it several times in varying conditions, I now have enough experience to speak truly about this killer foil. Something very unique about the new Takuma LOL Collaboration Wing here is the fact that it has winglets pointing up here. The back tail does not have winglets like the 1600 does. The 1600 tail also has winglets that point down opposite of the front. This is a more high performance wing compared to the 1600, so I think that's reflected in the tail. It's quite a bit more flat and it has a slight up curve in the tail there. This is an aluminum mast with an aluminum fuselage, and if you ride carbon, an all carbon setup, you'll feel a little bit of a difference here. You can feel the weight, but it's nothing extraordinary. It's still a fairly light foil, especially when you plug the mast so that it doesn't consume water, it doesn't hold water. I really like how this plate has the slits here where you don't have to remove your hardware from the box. You can just loosen it up a bit, slide it under and tighten it back down. I really like the fact that this plate also has 6 holes right down here if you can see them well. This gives you a little bit more leeway in where you place your foil on your boxes. If you have shorter boxes, it's going to help you out. If you need to ride further to the tail, this is going to give you just much more leeway. Interesting thing about this foil, it likes to ride very far back in the box compared to a lot of foils that I've tried. Lift, for example, rides very far forward in the box. This is quite far back. I've had to get out of the water the first times I tried it and slide it further back than what I'm used to riding. For a 1300 wing and being thin, a very thin profile, it has a lot of lift. It's fast down the line, but it is surprising me how much lift this wing has. I'm sliding it very far back in my box and only have about an inch left to go. I haven't tried it slammed to the very, very back. I think that would be a little bit too far, but I just find it interesting that it needs to go far back. Has quite a bit of lift. The construction on this foil feels great. It's everything fits together seamless. For being a smaller high performance wing, it has a fairly narrow cord here from the trailing edge to the front. This is called cord. From here to here, the cord is fairly narrow compared to a lot of surf wings that I see. So it's very efficient, fast, and allows you to pump well, but still carvy. And like I said, high performance. This whole thing is very solid. There's not much flex. I'm not feeling a lot of flex out of this wing. You can turn very hard on this wing and it holds very well. Just all around fast, carvy, pumps. The thing does kind of everything that you'd want a foil to do. I wouldn't mind having a little smaller tail. Other than that, it's very responsive. Really, my only complaint on this thing would be the weight. It's a little more weight than I'm used to. Again, it's not a deal breaker, but a little spoiled riding all carbon. But the good news is they've just released an all carbon model, and I'm imagining that's quite a bit lighter. So problem solved. Something I noticed unique about this foil I haven't felt in others is how thin and tapered this mast is. Low drag, it's a little bit sharp. You don't want to get hit with it. You don't want to get hit with any mast. But I imagine this is contributing to the speed. Assembling this foil, you gotta double check. Oh, is this the front or is this the back? They're very similar, obviously more tapered on the trailing edge, but they're pretty close. This aluminum mast will hold water if you don't plug it. The plugs that comes with it don't quite hold, and you need to put a little silicone there to back it up. And once you do that, smooth sailing, no water inside, keep it light. This is a 1300 wing, and I would ride it more often if it was a little bit smaller. I'm only $155, and this thing, as soon as it's over chest high, it just feels like too much lift for me for the kind of foiling I want to do. If I was a bit heavier, I would be able to throw this wing around a lot more. That being said, this wing does give me quite a bit of pump. You can double, triple dip it all day long. Another really interesting thing I found about this wing is that you can nearly bring it to a stall and regain your speed, pump out of a stall and regain your speed and pump on out. I don't know many wings that are surf wings that you can do that on. A high aspect, certainly, but I was pretty impressed by how slow you can be going and still pump this back up to speed and get going. Not sure if you can see it in video, but I do like the fact that they have this trailing edge protector here. The trailing edge on this wing is nice and thin, so they put sort of like a clear sticker, add a little extra reinforcement protection from scratches and dings and whatnot. It's a great idea. All in all, this is a very good high performance wing. These foils also come with a killer briefcase, great padding, mast, pedestal, fuselage go here. It's 2 layers. Remove the foam, tail wing, large wing, and you have this killer little tackle box full of the hardware, Tef gel, shims, you name it, all right there. There's gonna be 0 damage to your foil traveling with this. It's very convenient, well protected, well designed. There was a lot of thought that went into this foil, and it shows. All in all, it's a great foil. The 1600, also a great foil, great downwinder, great for tiny waves, great for the triple, quadruple dips, you name it. This wing series is great. I really enjoy it. I also ride the 1600 with this tail wing from the 13. It gives it a looser feel, not as grabby, releases well, and maybe even a little faster. All in all, this is a great foil. Definitely could recommend this. Fun to ride, well constructed. They did a great job.